Cool. Hey guys, how's it going? So today we're going to go over a little stone work. Basically what we're going to cover is, thank you. We're going to cover getting into stone to a lat position and just standing up with it in a low carry position. We're not going to worry about getting into the shoulder right now, just that fundamental first part of the movement. So like anything, before we go into actual lifting, we're going to warm up a little bit towards what we're going to do. Just a good plug here for Dylan's class on Sunday mornings. Big thing is ankle mobility, hip mobility, and just having a good posterior chain engagement. Similar movement to the deadlift, except for the fact that in a deadlift, the bar is only mid-shin. Now we're looking at where hand placement is actually going to be on the ground. So if you want to take that position like a monkey, where you think your hands are going to be flat to the ground, well, this is where the stone is going to be. It's going to be between my hands, but I'm also going to want to make sure that I've got a good posterior chain engagement, that I'm not going to round my back on that initial lift to get the stone to my lap. So a couple of warm things you can do is a bootstrap stretch. So there's your hands on the front of your toes, right? Underneath, push the hips back, stretch, stand up, back down. Same idea, under the toes, get low, drive hips back, stand up, come straight up. Another good thing too to get you in that position is a deficit kettlebell deadlift. So I just got a couple boxes set up here. A little wider stance because we have to take into account the width of the stone, so you want to get your feet in that position where the stone is going to be between your feet, between your ankles. And once we get to the stone, we're going to talk about addressing it, how we're going to get set up. So from here, notice the kettlebell sat out in front of me. It's right underneath me. And this is basically the same setup as where the stone would be. All I'm going to do here is I'm getting down to a really deep squat position. So I'm not going to lift straight up. What I'm going to do is as I'm going to drive my hips back, make sure the hamstrings are engaged, the back is nice and tight. I'm going to lift it straight up. Come straight down, once again, right? So I'm not so far up that my chest is straight up. Hips are back a bit, so that my shoulders basically sit over top of the kettlebell. Drive down through the hamstrings, stand up straight, hips back, come back down in that same straight position. So this will get you moving towards that concept of having something out of position, in the sense that we're used to having that bar in front of us, you know, touch up against the shins. This here, odd object, is going to be closer to that midline. We want to keep it as close to that midline. If not, then we're going to start compromising different aspects. So, got here 95, 130. Standard weights for stone weight for most workouts, most lifting. All I'm going to do is we'll go to 95 first. Same idea, we're going to warm up as we get to it. So if you notice right now, the stone is pretty well cut in half against my ankles. It was the same idea as with the kettlebell. I'm going to get down in that low position. Notice how chest is up. Same idea, if I was back here in a deadlift, right? I'd still be in this position, except my hips will be a little bit higher because the bar is going to be a little bit higher. This is where it's crucial to get those hips down low in that setup position. I find setting up from the bottom up instead of from the top down is much better for me with the stone, and in most cases it usually works that way good for people. So I get down to low position, I'm going to engage, I'm going to set up. So right now my arms are straight. I'm not trying to lift the stone. They're just underneath like two tethers. I'm just going to lift it up straight and then reposition on my knees across my lap. Now this is a lap position. So from here, chest is tight to it, my chin is on it. So if you notice right now though, I've lost that flat back and I've become arched. The big thing here is I'm arched, but I'm arched against the stone. So I'm holding that stone tight to me, which gives me a support across the shoulders to the back. If that's not there, what happens is then you start to slide forward, and that's where you lose your strength across that. Posterior chain is still engaged. As I come up, I get there. So hands are in front. All I'm going to do is slide hips back a bit, stand up quickly. So this would be a low carry position. The low carry position, all it's going to train you really is how to move an object, odd object in front of you that's heavy, keeping your core engaged, because what we don't want to happen is, I get here, right? My setup's good, I get it up here, hips go back, I stand up. So if you notice now, I'm standing tall, I'm trying to keep that stone tight to my hips with the midline. If I start doing this, then I've lost all the posterior chain engagement. So it becomes, shoulders become internally rotated, and I'm fighting just to hold it there. If I get high, the weight stays back to the hips. If it stays back to the hips, then it transfers down to legs instead of across the back and across the shoulders. But you just want to be comfortable. You don't want to try to lift a stone. Just get in a position so it just hangs. So to 130, same idea. I'm going to line up. So if you notice, most you have probably, there's a little bit of size difference as you get bigger. So what happens here is your reach around the stone is going to change. On the 95, I have no problem overlapping my hands, which gives me a little bit more grip, a little more stability. With the 130, get down, same idea, right? Set up from the bottom, get nice and tight, good posterior chain engagement, feeling good, arms are still straight. I get it in that lap position. So if you notice how a little bit quicker up through, hips go back, and I just stand up. So you carry it. So when you're carrying it though, this is where you want to think, almost like that duck walk. Short steps, but quick. Once again, set up good. Get in position, hips back, stand up, quick walk. And that's the low carry from the ground to the lap to the low carry.
Doing this on Tuesday?
Tuesday or Wednesday?
Tuesday or Wednesday. All right. Thanks.